Tim Chisuli's in the car buying business. How many, let's face it, is it kind of fun to think about buying a new car? Is that fun? Yeah, the whole concept, it's fun to think about buying a car. Is it fun to go? What's the problem? Where does the transition happen? What don't we like about going to buy a car or look at cars? Whoosh. You know, it's like, what, magnets. Tim Chisuli knows that. He has decommoditized the car buying business. You know what he says, I'm not in the car buying business. I'm not in the car selling business at all. I'm in the entertainment business. Entertainment business. And in the entertainment business, Chisuli knows that attitudes will determine the quality of the show. You know what he says? He says, my goals are to have employees for life and customers for life. Ever heard of a car dealer saying, I want employees for life and customers for life? Everyone wants customers for life, right? He says, I begin with employees for life, and every single one of my employees will determine the quality of the experience that all of our customers have, and that makes them choose to stay with us for life. Well, Tim Chisuli knows. He gets into the minds and walks in the shoes of his customers every single day. He has created a radically different car buying experience. He discovered that when we drive onto a car lot, and we get there, and the sales associates approach us, what do we say? They say, hi, can I help you? And what do you say? I'm just looking. Well, Tim Chisuli knows that's what everybody says the first thing they do when they step onto a car lot. So instead, at Planet Honda, you approach a kiosk, much like a movie theater, and you're greeted by someone, and they say, hello, welcome to Planet Honda. How can I help you? Oh, I'm just looking. Great. Well, take this badge. Oops. It's a just looking badge. Oh, wouldn't it be cool to have a just looking badge when you wandered through a dealership? You're free all of a sudden. You're free to look at what you want to look at. You don't have to have someone bugging you and bothering you. You get to do it on your time, look at what you want, talk about what you want. He knows that's important. Tim Chisuli has redefined car buying. When you do it right for the realtors, when you do it right for the lenders, when you do it right for people like me, is it an experience that's remarkably different? Let me tell you something. Southwest Airlines knows that they're not going to build their reputation and be remarkably different from the competition by simply taking off on time, arriving on time, giving us a can of Coke, a bag of peanuts, and believe it or not, getting our bags to where we get. Southwest said that's basic, that's ordinary, or it ought to be. So they go above and beyond the call of duty. They hire people who have in their hearts and in their heads a desire to become remarkable, to do remarkably different things for their customers. So it looks like this. I was doing a program for Choice Hotels, and there were about this many people in the audience. Room was dark, though. We had just taken a break, came back, and someone from the back of the room said, Jackie, before you begin again, can I please share my favorite Southwest story? I said, of course you can, but who are you? He said, well, I don't actually work for Choice Hotels. I'm actually a part of the AV crew. I'm operating the camera back here. He said, that's okay. You can still tell your story. So he did. He said, my wife was having our first baby, very pregnant, and I was scheduled to go out of town. So I did what I needed to do, took all the equipment that would keep me connected, pager, cell phone, all that stuff. He said, and as soon as the event started, sure enough, the call came in. Honey, the baby's on its way. I need you home immediately. So he dropped what he was doing, went to the airport, and discovered his fastest, most direct way home was a Southwest Airlines flight. Never flown him before. Grabbed his ticket, ran to the gate, ran down the jetway, and he said, as luck would have it, who was standing and greeting the passengers but the captain and the first officer? He said, so I looked right at those two guys, and I said, hey, guys, my wife, she's having our very first child. Would you mind stepping on it for me? And they did laugh. He said, but an amazing thing happened. When the flight landed, the flight crew asked everyone, the flight attendant said, everyone, please remain seated, brought him forward, gave him a bottle of champagne, and said, congratulations, you go home and deliver your child. We have arrived 20 minutes early on your behalf. Wow. Now, you know what's cool about that is the story in and of itself is cool, but you know what? That customer shared that story with me and 400, 500 other potential customers of Southwest Airlines. That's what you want the realtors and the lenders to be doing for you because of the experience that you create for them. Yeah, you have to have no surprises in the process. Yeah, today you have to do it in 4 to 6 days. You've got to do that. It's expected. But how do you make it unique? How do you make it personalized? How do you tap into the preference of those realtors that you've been able to do business with? How do you tap into the preferences, the unique preferences of some of the lenders? How do you tap into the preferences? How do you make the event less intimidating and more celebratory for the people who are actually the homeowners and gaining title and getting to closure? How do you do it? You know what? It's not about big fancy programs. It's not stuff that costs you money. My friends, it's what you do because you know in your gut it's the right thing to do. You build relationships with them. You learn about their families. You learn about their kids. You learn about their businesses. And you tap into wanting to make their day. In order to do that radically different experience for your customers, you have to create what I'd call a radically different experience for your people, the employees that you've got. Because I truly believe that if you are building a brand, a national brand, you build that brand one store at a time, one employee at a time. What we truly believe brand is all about, brand is about building your brand from the inside out. One employee at a time, one customer interaction at a time. We all have to be gutsy leaders who are saying to ourselves, how are we going to make the experience, the escrow, the title, the closing process remarkably different? How are you going to do that? And we're going to give you a few different examples of how that is done. Barry Gibbons, when he became the CEO of Burger King, had no idea what it was like to do business with a Burger King. So what he did is he went to a variety of different communities and ordered food. And he discovered when he did that it was a nightmare out there. And he discovered it was a nightmare because of this. When Burger King did it right, the experience for him as a customer was pretty ordinary. Customers are no longer loyal and dedicated and committed and cemented and bonded to you if the experience is simply ordinary. There's just no way. We have to be finding unique and extraordinary ways to do business with the lenders, the realtors, and ultimately the customers who might not have a say, but you've got to be top of mind. And becoming top of mind, the first that they go to, means remarkably different.